you can't have one without the other. What am I talking about? I'm talking about if you've ever had some kind of a trauma, you're going to know that there's also going to follow grief and change. If you've ever had some kind of a loss, there's going to be trauma and change. If you've experienced some expected change, there's going to be grief and there's going to be trauma. Usually the trauma comes in the form of trying to get our head around what is new, the new experience that we didn't anticipate, we didn't plan for, we didn't see coming. That's one of the challenges when I'm working with people who are struggling with trying to get their life back on track, is they might be just working on grief, but they're not addressing the trauma and they're not preparing themselves for what needs to change. Or it might be the opposite. They might be only focusing on what's changed and not realizing there's some grief that needs to be addressed. And there probably is some shock and trauma and resistance that needs to be handled. So I would encourage you today to just sit down for a minute and think about, if I'm stuck, if I'm frustrated, if I'm shut down, if I'm whatever the problem is that I don't feel like I'm making the strides that I want to. It's not just about new resolutions. It's about figuring out what's going on inside of me. What are the emotions? What are the physical blocks that are actually happening inside of me? And it's going to probably follow in those three things. There's going to be some kind of trauma, there's going to be some kind of loss, and some kind of change. And more often than not, the loss is who you thought you were going to be. Every time I work with divorced couples, they tell me they never dreamed. Every time I work with someone who's a caregiver, they never imagined, right? Those are the things that catch us off guard. That's why it's traumatic, is it doesn't fit in the mindset and the story that we had been writing. And it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of help sometimes to have someone lovingly and patiently help us through it. That's why a lot of the work I think of in my own mind as tools, love, and coaching for the tremendous life challenges of trauma, loss, and grief. If I can be of help in any way, or if I have products that will serve you, I hope that you will reach out.